Hello, my name is Jodi Dix, and I will be covering the rising cost of climate change within the Great Lakes. So first, I would like to start off with some facts about the Great Lakes. So as you may or may not know, the Great Lakes hold about 20% of the world's fresh surface water. So while 20% may not seem like such a large percentage, it is actually 1/5 of the world's fresh surface water. So when you look at it that way, the Great Lakes region is a very vital factor for fresh surface water. The Great Lakes have nearly 11,000 miles of shoreline and harbor. They have more than 530,000 acres of coastal wetlands and the world's largest freshwater delta. And this watershed drains more than 200,000 square miles and supports approximately 6,000 species. So now there are going to be some physical impacts of climate change, especially within the Great Lakes region. So for example, there are going to be temperature increases, and animal life, so their habitats and their habits, are going to be changing as well. So first, I'd like to talk about the shift in temperature. So because of the shift in temperature, there is going to be a significant change of winter and summer climate in the Great Lakes region. So for example, by the century's end, summers in Illinois will generally resemble those of East Texas, while Michigan summers are likely to resemble those in Arkansas that they now experience. There will also be an annual average temperature increase within the Great Lakes region. So between the years of 1968 and 2000, there have been a 2.3 degrees Fahrenheit increase. There is also going to be a projected increase in temperature of 1.8 degrees Fahrenheit to 5.4 degrees Fahrenheit by the year 2050. So this increase in temperature is going to have a negative impact on most wildlife life. So due to the increasing temperatures, many species will be negatively impacted. For example, there is a decline in the moose population in Minnesota. So with a recent study, a recent study has shown that over the past 40 years, there have been a decline in moose population because of the increase in mean summer temperatures, with winter and summer temperatures increasing by an average of 12 and 4 degrees. So because of this increase in temperature, there have been a lack of food resources and increased exposure to deer parasites. So this is what they associate to be the main causes of their decline in population. There's also going to be a disappearance of cold water fish species. So once the water of the Great Lakes increases due to the increasing temperatures, these cold water fish species will go and seek other climates or other bodies of water that are more suited to their needs. Yellow-headed blackbirds are also going to be negatively impacted by the increasing temperatures. So since these birds solely breed in the wetlands, with an increase in temperature, that will lead to a shrinkage in wetland population or space that's within the Great Lakes region. So because there is less of a habitat and therefore a shorter supply of food, these birds have nested later and laid fewer eggs. So that also decreases the population. Now, the only animal that will respond favorably to warmer waters is the zebra mussel, which many of you may know is an invasive species. So with the increasing temperatures, the zebra mussel's population growth will rise exponentially. And with the larger population, they do have a greater chance of going and invading different bodies of water. So now, along with the physical impacts, there are also economic impacts of climate change, since the Great Lakes itself serves as the backbone for a $4 trillion regional revenue. So one large factor of that goes into the $4 trillion revenue is trading routes. So these trading routes and the infrastructures of the buildings surrounding these trading routes are something that must be replaced and structurally sound if they are to continue to serve the community. So because of the changing climate, the Great Lakes communities must plan their decision planning routines and their infrastructure investment decisions a bit differently to make sure that this infrastructure is structurally sound for the upcoming projections and changes that are expected to happen in the Great Lakes. And many of these industries in the region depend on the Great Lakes for transportation. So if certain ports or certain channels of the Great Lakes are no longer available for transportation, that is going to put a huge economic strain on the businesses or the region in itself, because they cannot transport their goods, or they'll have to change their trading routes, which will then increase the cost of transportation and therefore increase the product. So therefore, less people will be likely to buy their product, decreasing their economic profit. So now some solutions that can go into effect to maybe help control climate change or at least slow it down. You can monitor and manage impacts in the watershed. So make sure that storm surge inputs and erosions, there are going to be models in place and infrastructural changes in place that can help slow down erosion and to make sure that storm surge inputs happen at a lower rate. There's also talks of stormwater and wastewater treatment infrastructures to redesign them or upgrade them. So the Great Lakes Regional Collaboration Process recommends restoration at a cost of $20 billion over 5 years. And this could result in $800 to $100 billion in short and long-term economic benefits to the regional and national economies. So while this all seems like such a great amount in short and long-term economic benefits, it is that cost of $20 billion, even over a span of 5 years, that gives many within the political realm some hesitancy as a proposed solution to a topic that is heavily debated within the political parties. So here is my works cited page. I hope you enjoyed my presentation, and thank you very much for your time.